Hey, good afternoon, guys and gals, Arete family, Infinite Crypto Cruisers, cruising together to financial freedom. How's everybody doing today? I am excited to be here. Looking forward to a few people hopping on. As you join the stream today, please feel free to give a shout out in the comment section. Maybe let us know where you're dialing in from or where you're joining us from. Glad to be here. Last week we had a fantastic Arete education live stream, and today we're kind of continuing on. I'm going to do this once a week, hoping to actually have a good schedule for you guys in the near future instead of it kind of being up in the air. But for right now, and with Thanksgiving week next week, it'll probably be a couple of weeks before we have an absolute cast in concrete kind of time. Hey, Brian, how you doing? I hope everybody is having a fantastic day, getting ready to enjoy the holidays. Life is pretty good here in Las Vegas. For those of you that are part of the Arete family, I'm on day 4 of 75 hard. You guys finally inspired me to go for it. I actually got the book 75 hard probably around a month or so ago, but it took me a little while to decide to commit to it. Hey, Sean Murphy, how you doing, buddy? How's Colorado treating you? You up to your waist in snow yet? So for those of you that are joining the call today, my main purpose originally was to talk about DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance, and how to create passive income and freedom in your life through your cryptocurrency investments. And I'm definitely still excited to talk about that topic today, but I did want to go through and talk a little bit about the market dip that we're all experiencing these last few days. No snow, it was 19 degrees. Hey, 19 degrees, man. Part of my 75 hard is I've added a sixth step into it, which is a cold water immersion in the backyard in my swimming pool. And so, man, it's pretty darn cold this time of the year for that right now. I can't imagine having to do it in 19-degree weather. Hi, Coleman. Hater, how you doing, Hater? Nice to see you, man. Welcome. Thanks for joining the show. And there's Mr. Mikoo Mendoza. Thank you for being here. So hopefully you guys have a pen and paper ready to do some learning, writing some stuff down. And then also, if you can think of any good questions, definitely, write down your questions as I'm talking. If anything comes to mind, I'm looking forward to the Q&A part of this. Hater, are you just here for the 1K celebration? Is that the only reason you're following me, brother? Now, I do have some ideas for that. I'm finalizing them, and there will be an announcement sometime in the not too distant future. So stay posted. Sometime in the next couple of videos, I will be announcing exactly what I'm going to give away and how I'm going to give it away. But thank you for being here. Mikoo heading for Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. I've spent a handful of times in OKC, Oklahoma City, and really enjoyed it. So, folks, as we get going, more and more people will join. One of the interesting aspects about a call like this is I never really know exactly the level of education, the level of investment history that you have with cryptocurrency. So if you know some of the stuff that I'm talking about, I apologize if it's a little bit redundant, but it's kind of important to go over, especially for new people. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about the market real quick, because a lot of times new people that have either just recently decided to go ahead and dip their toe in the water and throw some money into crypto, or people that are standing on the sidelines that are thinking about jumping in, see these days like the last 2 or 3, and it scares them from getting involved in crypto. And part of the education process, part of what I want to share with you guys today is that cryptocurrency is coming. Adoption is coming. We're expecting just a tidal wave of money to come flowing into the space over the next few months, next few years, next couple of decades. It's going to be like the 90s .com boom was, but with cryptocurrency. And, just some news that's just hit in the last day or two was that the Los Angeles Lakers Staples Center was purchased by a company called crypto.com, which is a decentralized exchange and platform that I'm going to be talking today. But now the Los Angeles Lakers are no longer playing at the Staples Center. They're playing at the crypto.com center. I also heard that the Miami Heat now play at the FTX Arena, which FTX is also a exchange and a cryptocurrency, is also a portfolio tracker. So those types of things, folks, should show you that crypto is going mainstream and that it's here to stay. And one of the things that I really wanted to put out there today was, over the last few years, our economy has been amazing leading up to recently, but in this last, year or two, because of the I don't want to say it out loud. Sometimes videos get edited or get muted because if you use the wrong words, but because of the pandemic, our economy has been going through some changes. The government printed trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars trying to prop up the economy and give us all of this free stuff. And now we're paying the price with inflation. There's so much going on that a lot of people don't understand where our fiat is headed. So I don't want to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but I do want to paint a picture of the fact that our dollar is becoming worth less. And if you're just holding on to Benjamins in the bank account, your spending power is going down immensely. And, there's a gentleman named Robert Kiyosaki that some of you have probably heard of on this call. He wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad back in 1999. And he kind of outlined even way back then how the discrepancy between the rich and the poor was going to continue to widen, and that the people that were going to get wiped out were the middle class. So for a long time in America, we had the elite, we had the wealthy, we had a very strong, big, booming middle class, and then you had, some people that were poor. But what's starting to happen is the middle class is getting wiped out, and people are either becoming wealthy or they're becoming poor, and the middle class is shrinking down to where pretty soon there's not going to be a middle class. And of course, there's always going to be some people in the middle, so I'm not going to say that everybody's either going to be rich or poor. But my point is, if you want to stay ahead of the financial curve that is happening and the inflation that is coming, cryptocurrency is the way to do it. And it's the only way that I really know of to do it. I got a good friend named James Taylor that's one of my business coaches, that's an extremely successful businessman. And he had a ton of money in the stock market, and he's earning on some of his investments. He's got real estate, REITs and stuff like that, where he's earning 14, 15% a year in passive income. And we just talked on Tuesday, and he said, Brad, I don't think that 14 or 15% a year that I'm getting is going to do me that much good, because I think that inflation is going to be eating up all of it or most of it, or maybe even more than it is. And he started investing in cryptocurrency back in about March or April, I want to say. And he's already created an amazing cryptocurrency portfolio. And the reason that he struck out into cryptocurrency was he saw what was getting ready to happen and realized that this was a way that he could position himself and his family to earn money faster than the value of it was going down. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but it's so important, folks. If you're sitting here and you haven't jumped into crypto yet, in my opinion, the people that don't ever get involved in crypto are going to have a very tough time over the next handful of years staying up with the inflation. And I think that they're going to be living in some rough patches of time, because they're just not going to be able to make money fast enough in order to outpace the inflation and stuff that is getting ready to happen. So gold used to be your hedge against inflation. Now it's Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of these projects that are coming up that are going to far be better for you than holding physical gold or physical silver, although there's still a time and a place for that too. But cryptocurrency is the new gold. And folks, right now is an opportunity to get in and just enjoy some amazing, amazing returns on your investment. You know, I've told this story before, but I'm involved in crypto because my mentor, who begged me to get into crypto, turned $9,500 into $2.2 million in the year of 2017 going into 2018. And during that time, I didn't listen to him. I didn't get involved. And now it took me 4 years to do what it took him less than a year to do, because I went through the bear cycle of 18 and 19. 20 wasn't fantastic really either, although there was some upside. But this last 6, 7, 8, 9 months has been amazing. And I've seen my portfolio just skyrocket, and it's created financial freedom for me in my life. No job. My wife doesn't have a job. And this YouTube channel is here to pay that forward. And so, you know, sometimes a gentleman that you guys have all heard of, you know, Andy Frisella, he gets on his calls and sometimes he gets pretty worked up and he's throwing out the F-bombs and he gets excited. And that's how I am right now. Like, I really wish that I could grab a few of you guys by the throat and say, man, you really got to do this. But I know that's not how life works. You know, I can't force you to do anything. And I don't want to be responsible if you do jump in and it doesn't go well. But I just, from the bottom of my heart, man, I really believe that every single person in here, whether you're already successful, already have a ton of money, or if you're still trying hard to get there, need to get some of your portfolio into cryptocurrency and give yourself a hedge against all of the financial, you know, struggles that I think are going to be coming and hitting us over the next few years. With that, guys, I'm going to shut up. I love you all. I thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and ask some questions. If you've got questions about the market. Oh, so I guess real quick, I should say that this dip doesn't bother me at all. I look at it like an incredible buying opportunity. So if you're just getting ready to get into crypto, this is an amazing opportunity for you to be able to get some fantastic prices on some incredible projects. So yes, if you've got money on the sidelines and you're thinking about jumping into crypto, now is a good time. Now, can crypto go down even further than it is? Absolutely. But I guarantee you, if you buy now, well, I can't guarantee anything. This isn't really financial advice. It's just my opinion, and there are no guarantees in life. But I very much believe if you buy today and it still goes down another 10 or 20% over the next few weeks, it's not a big deal. In no time, within the next couple of months, you're going to be up on your money, and you're going to be up fairly significantly, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm saying you should go all in right this second. If you have $10,000 sitting on the sidelines, maybe you throw $2,500 in now. And if it dips down some more, you've got some capital on the sidelines that you can deploy. If it starts to head back up, that's okay too. You can deploy your capital as it goes up. So don't necessarily take your whole investment money for crypto and just throw it into the market right this second. Do it smart, layer it in one way or the other, but it's definitely not a bad time to get started, because we don't know. Tomorrow, this thing could start rocketing up, and over the next 3 or 4 days, you could have missed an amazing opportunity to double or triple or quadruple your money. You know, none of us have a crystal ball, but that's my point, though, about this whole conversation is this kind of stuff doesn't bother me at all. I've been in the market long enough to know where it's going. I had a friend ask me today, a friend that I used to know since I was about 6 years old, a guy named Jason Ormbrecht back in Washington State that I just kind of reconnected with through Facebook. He asked me, how do you watch your portfolio go down by 40 or 50% and it doesn't bother you? And I told him, well, number one, I have absolutely rock solid 100% belief in where this is going over the long term. I said the only time a dip like a 40 or 50% dip should matter to you is if you didn't follow 2 key rules. Number one, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. And number 2, even more importantly, don't invest money that you might need for your life in the next 3 months, 6 months, year or two. And really, you should have like a 2 to 5 year plan. I think you're going to make some incredible money and get wealthy faster, but you shouldn't look at it like, okay, I'm going to get rich over the next couple of months. Have a 3 month, 6 month, 2 year plan. And if you don't need the money, then it's just a number on a computer screen. That's what I told him. I said, I don't really care what the number is right now. I know where it's going, and the 30, 40, 50% dips don't mean anything to me because I can afford to leave the money in. I don't have to sell it. Yeah, if you put $100,000 into Bitcoin today that you need in 2 weeks or a month for rent or for your business, and now it drops down by 50%, you're pretty sick. But if you put 100,000 in today and it drops down by 50%, but you know that money's there for a year or two, you just don't care. So now I'll shut up and let you guys get on with your questions. Who's got the first question of the day? Let me see if I slide back up here and see what we got for questions. So far, I haven't really seen any questions, just people saying hello and that kind of stuff. Who's got a question either about the current market? You can ask me, what would I invest in if I was investing right now? You can ask me if you're, interested in some decentralized finance stuff, ask me that. Whatever you guys really, have on your mind, feel free to kick in some questions. That's what I'm here for. Don't everybody ask a question all at once. Luke, I love you, brother. Thank you for being here, and I love this comment. Let me see here. I clicked on the wrong spot. There we go. They say UFO is the next axie. You know what, Luke? I hope they're right. I don't know if any of you have watched any of my previous videos, but I actually just did a deep dive video on UFO gaming last week. It's sitting at about 10,000 views. In fact, it's my most popular video yet. And I absolutely think that UFO gaming has an amazing future ahead of it. It's also high enough in the market cap. It's sitting at over 500 million, maybe $600 million market cap, that it's not a super, super risky play like something that's down with 10 or 20 or $30 million market cap. And I agree with them. I'm hoping they're right, because I have a nice amount of money invested in UFO. So I hope that they are right. Here we go. This is a great question. So dilemma, how do you use crypto loans? So I use the Nexo platform personally. So I've got links to crypto.com, the Voyager app, and the Nexo platform down in the description of the videos. If you do decide to join one of these platforms, please do it through my link. That helps me out. You get $25 in free Bitcoin. I get $25 in free Bitcoin. It's not a lot of money, but I do appreciate it, and it does help support the channel. But the way that I use crypto loans is twofold. Sometimes I will use it to increase my investment. So on Nexo platform, if you deposit, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can borrow up to 50% of its value, and you use the Bitcoin as collateral. So say you had $25,000 in Bitcoin and you throw it in Nexo, you're going to earn interest on it if you're not borrowing against it. So it's twofold. You put the tokens in Nexo, and they can earn you anywhere from 5 to 7 to 15%, depending on the token and depending on where you live and that kind of stuff. But anyways, once you have the Bitcoin there, all of a sudden something comes up and you have a little bit of a life emergency, and you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, but you got to pay $3,000 or $4,000 to get your car fixed. It's a great way to, now you can go borrow that $3,000 or $4,000. There's no credit score involved. There's no qualifying. If you've got the asset in the platform, you automatically get the money, and you get it fast. You can get it in a stable coin such as USDC immediately, or if you want it sent to your bank account, I believe it takes up to 72 hours to hit your bank account. So that's one way that I use it, is for emergencies. And if life hits me in a spot where I don't really want to sell off any of my crypto, but I want access to some of the funds. The other way that I use it is if I really think that something big is starting to happen and I don't have a lot of cash on the sidelines and I would like to reinvest into another crypto, I can take my $25,000 worth of Bitcoin. I can borrow up to $12,500 against it. Now I can take that 12,500 and buy a UFO gaming or buy a token that I believe is going to do extremely well. With that, there's some risk. If you're wrong and the token that you're buying goes down in value, that's not a great thing. But at least it gives you options. And I'm glad that you asked, because one of the other things I was going to talk about is I know a lot of the folks here are already doing extremely well in business. And you have successful businesses, you're in real estate, you're already making good money, but there's probably times where maybe you might have a cash crunch. Or if you're anything like me, let's say that something happened and tomorrow somebody gave me $500,000 and I just had $5,000 sitting in the bank, and I had an opportunity to buy a house for 500,000. I don't want to just take $500,000 in cash and buy that house or use it as a down payment. I want to be able to have my money working for me. So I would rather invest that $500,000 into an asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum or a token that is spitting off dividends. Many cryptocurrencies will spit off dividends for you. I'd rather put it into an account like Nexo and have it working for me, and then borrow against it. Use that money that I borrowed to put the down payment on the house. So like if you're a real estate investor and you're always borrowing money for hard money loans and stuff like that, paying 20 or 30% interest, if you can create a cryptocurrency portfolio for yourself, then you put yourself in a position where you can keep the cash at hand, but also have an asset that is working for you. So Dilemma, thank you. That was a great question, and hopefully I answered it. And once again, Nexo is my favorite platform. There's also a platform out there called Celsius, which is fantastic too. It's pretty amazing. I don't have a link to it, but you can also look at Celsius, and there's probably a few other spots that I'm missing. Let me see here. Momentous Building Enterprise Corp, $1,000 risk investment. Are you saying you're looking for, if you had $1,000, you would want to know what to invest it in? Is that what you're asking, Momentous? If that's your question, which I'm going to assume it is, you can let me know in the comments if that's not right. But if that's your question, it's really tough to say. Depends on your circumstances, what $1,000 means to you. If it's your last thousand and you're gambling really, and you really need it to do some winning, then I would stay in the top 5 or 10 or 15 cryptocurrencies, stuff like Polkadot. What else is up there? Matic, I think, is probably closer to number 20 in rank, but I think it's got a great, some really good potential. Solana is another one. I kind of am staying away from Bitcoin, although it's probably one of the safest. It's probably not going to earn you a whole lot. Like, I believe that Bitcoin can probably run to 100, maybe 150,000 over the next few months. So buying it now, you're looking at maybe doubling your money. But if you were to put $1,000 into a token like Matic, I think Matic has the ability to maybe 5, 10, or even 20x. So if you've already got a good portfolio and you're looking for like $1,000 investment that you can turn into 100,000, then you got to go a little bit further down the rabbit hole and look into some lower market cap tokens like the UFO gaming. Another token that I'd put a little bit of money into, because the Dogecoin and the Shibu, even though I'm not a big fan of those types of coins, and I really don't understand why they did what they did, they don't have any long-term utility. Like, I'd be very surprised if they are anywhere near in the top 25 or 50 over the next handful of years. I bet you that Doge and Shibu both drop way, 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 way down into the hundreds over as time goes by, because they really just don't do anything. They don't solve a problem. So I did invest recently into a token called Saitama, spelled here. Let me throw it in here. And the reason that I did that, funny enough, is I actually had a friend That doesn't look right to me for some reason. I'll pop it in here. That's close. For some reason, that doesn't look right to me though. But it's called Saitama, and it's kind of like a Shibu. The reason I invested into it was because one of my friends on Facebook, who's a total newbie at crypto, doesn't know a whole lot, asked me if he should buy Doge, and I told him no, and he didn't listen to me, and he made a bunch of money. Then he asked me if he should buy Shibu, and I told him no, and he didn't listen to me, and he made a bunch of money. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he made a post on his Facebook saying, "Hey guys, if you don't have Saitama, you're missing out." And I thought, well, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. So even though it's not a cryptocurrency that I really love, this time I'm not going to let him make a bunch of money without me. So I threw $1,000 at Saitama. So UFO gaming, there's another token out there called Meta Wars that I just did a video on that is also similar to UFO gaming that might be a good spot. Something like this Saitama, or like I say, if you want to be a little bit safer but still have some massive, gains, I think Matic, Polygon Matic is the token that I would probably tell you to throw $1,000 at if I just had to be pinned down to one token. Thank you very much for being here, Momentous, and I appreciate you asking a great question. Let's see here. Tom, what do we got here? We are watching the bullish. Brian, I'm so thankful for my wife. I was hoping she could be on today, but I didn't think she was going to be because she's pretty busy doing some stuff for herself. But thank you. This is my wife, Deanna, and I guess I missed a question. So she's fantastic at making sure that I don't skip over good questions. So here we go. Thank you so much for that, my love. Here we go. Brian, Simon, hey, how you doing? For a newbie, what exchanges do you recommend? I think that Coinbase is definitely number one go-to. Once you get educated a little bit, then you can set up the Coinbase Pro, which allows you to place limit orders and market orders. So if you just go to Coinbase, the regular Coinbase, you just have to pay whatever the price is that they tell you it is. But if you go to Coinbase Pro, and let's say you want to buy some Matic that I just recommended, let's say that Matic was sitting at like about $1.80 a couple of days ago. And my friend James told me, hey, I put in an order on Coinbase Pro for Matic at $1.50 because he had a feeling that things might be heading down. So instead of just buying at the $1.80 that Coinbase would have sold it to him for, by getting on Coinbase Pro, he was able to put in a order at $1.50. The only trouble with that is if he was wrong and it started going up, then he wouldn't have owned any. But Coinbase is the number one US regulated exchange that's super, super safe, and that I would recommend going with. The second one is Voyager, and there is a link for Voyager here in the comment section. If you sign up for Voyager and you deposit $100 into Voyager, they give you $25 in Bitcoin. And the thing that I like about Voyager, it's also a publicly traded company, but it has a little bit more diversity. You can buy more tokens on Voyager than you can buy on Coinbase. So those would be the top two that I would recommend. And then crypto.com is really rising, the cream of the crop, and it's rising to the top. So crypto.com is another spot that I would say is a fantastic spot to buy crypto. One of the things about crypto.com that's amazing is that once you buy the crypto, many of the cryptocurrencies you can actually just stake and hold in your crypto.com wallet and earn interest on them. So those would be my top three. Let me see my phone is making some noise. I apologize. Let me silence it here real quick, and then make sure that whoever is binging me here, it's not because, okay, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. Little housekeeping. I forgot to turn my phone off. So Brian, I hope that answers your question. And you're in Arete. We've DM'd a little bit, so feel free to DM me after this call is over if you need a little bit more information or need any help getting something like that set up. And that kind of goes for all of you folks. This is kind of a small, private group. More people will watch this video after it gets published, but I've got some time to help you guys a little bit one-on-one. So I do encourage you, at least right now, while I'm still, pretty free time-wise, don't hesitate to DM me with a question, and I'm willing to help you a little bit, one-on-one. Let me see. SCAR, let's see here. SCAR is at 20 cents, might be a good buy. Mikoo, that's a good question. I'm not sure. To be honest with you, the name SCAR does not ring a bell. What type of a project is that? In fact, let's do we can do a little educating and a little screen sharing right here to take a peek at it. So this is a good educational moment. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And so he just asked me about a cryptocurrency called SCAR that I don't happen to know exactly what that is. So this is what I'm going to do. Actually, let me go back here and see. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me get back. Go. Nope. Sorry. No, I don't. Nope. That's the wrong one. Okay. Share screen. Chrome. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully you guys can see this. So right now I'm on CoinGecko.com. And this shows you all of the cryptocurrencies basically that exist. There's over 10,000 of them. Shows here by market cap. So we got Bitcoin is number one, Ethereum is number two, and so on and so forth. So when I'm talking about you having a nice investment portfolio that's in the top 25, this is what I'm talking about, is these tokens here in about the top 25. So Matic is sitting here at 21. I mentioned Polkadot is here at number 8, and so on and so forth. But what you do if you want to look at a particular token is you go up here to this search engine and then type in its ticker. So he said it was SCAR. I'm going to guess that it's this one here because that's the only one. You see a SCAR here, you see an SCX. So Valhalla, if that's pronounced correctly, Valhalla sitting at a little under 20 cents. So I hadn't personally heard of it, but when somebody from my community comes to me and asks me a question like this is what I do and this is what you can do. So you see here that it's sitting at about 19 cents. The website is right here. You can tell here by this little thing, it's on the Binance Smart Chain network. It would have an Ethereum symbol here if it was on the Ethereum network. Binance Smart Chain is beautiful because that's a lot less expensive in fees when you go to buy it. I would also then probably join the Telegram and the Twitter of this particular project so that I could do some more investigating. And then I go down here and look, okay, so its market cap is 48 million. I like the sound of that. That means it's got a lot of room to run. In order to get to say 1 billion, it's got to go up 20 times just to get to a $1 billion market cap. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a great investment all on its own, but it's something worth looking at. And then we go down here, we see that its all-time high was sitting at, or its all-time low was at 16 cents. Its all-time high was 47 cents. So it's down about 60% in the last couple of days. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad investment. What this is telling me, just I would guess that it probably had just launched not too long ago. So that's probably why it had a nice run up and then it's kind of came back down. It's probably maybe launched in the not too distant past. Let's see here. If we can go back and look at its go back up here to, its historical data. So we can look at it, say, on a 90-day price range. So 90 days ago, it was sitting at 45 cents here on, no, that's not, still not showing me 90 days. Why won't it pop up here? Let's go. Okay, so the reason, so it definitely just launched not too long ago because it's not even going back. So now we know that it's a fairly new token. It's sitting at about 48 million. And then what I would do is I would go to the website. But if I click here, it's going to take me to a new page and you guys wouldn't be able to see the new page. I'd have to go into a new screen share. But that's kind of, if you hear about a token and you want to check it out, that is the best way to do it, is to hop on CoinGecko and then, kind of go through the numbers and take a peek at it. All right. So sorry, Mikoo, I don't know the answer to your question, but after this live stream is over and sometime this evening, I probably will go take a closer look at it and try to get back to you in Telegram. Oh, okay. Hi, Patrick. Patrick Robertson. Nice to have you, man. Definitely enjoy you in Arete, and looking forward to getting to know you better and better. Um, so, so far, we've kind of exhausted the questions that I've had. If anybody's got any more questions, keep them coming. If not, I will talk a little bit about more decentralized finance and how to create passive income. So, what I do personally is buy tokens that I really love for the long term. And then I try to find places, platforms like Nexo, Celsius, Voyager, crypto.com. All of those allow you to buy cryptocurrencies and then hold them there and earn interest. And most of them pay interest in token. So in stocks, a lot of times, when you get a dividend, it's paid out in like US dollars. And then you do have a way where you can reinvest the dividends back into a stock. With crypto, it usually kind of happens automatically for you. So if I stake 100 DOT in the Nexo platform at 10% interest, at the end of a year, I'm going to have 110 DOT. So that's a beautiful thing if DOT has gone up. If DOT has gone down, it's not as great. But with cryptocurrencies that I really believe in, I love getting my interest in the cryptocurrency that I'm staking, because I believe Polkadot is probably going to be 150, 250, 500,000 token over the next handful of years. So right now, if I've got 100 of them in there and I'm earning 10% a year, but over the next few years, DOT goes up by 5 times and goes from, say, $40 where it's at now to 200. Well, instead of earning 10% a year on my DOT, I actually earned 50%. If DOT does something crazy, goes all the way up to $1,000, well, now that's a 25x from $40. And now you're talking about 250% that you earned by having your DOT staked. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, ADA, Cardano, and I mean, off the top of my head, what are some others? The Stellar, Ripple, XRP, and several of the tokens. I mean, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of tokens can be staked in these platforms and earn you anywhere from 5 to as much as 10 or 15% in interest on your tokens while you're waiting for them to moon. So right now, I'm not really spending that. If I got 100 DOT and it turns into 110, I'm not really using that 10 DOT for my life. But you can, if you want to, you could use that as it goes up and use it as passive income and just have your 100 DOT be the investment that you're not going to touch. Like, you're going to hold those 100 DOT for the next 10 years, but you're going to go ahead and use the 10% in interest that you're getting from that DOT to, for your life. And you're doing that with multiple tokens. Right now, with all of the growth that I believe is happening in the crypto market, I prefer to kind of just let it build up and grow, so that when we get those 5, 10, 15, 20x gains, my interest is also going up by 5, 10, 15, 20x. So there's also something called yield farming. I saw a gentleman in the Arete group a couple of days ago ask about Pancake Swap, which is a decentralized finance platform that also allows you to do a couple of different things. You can stake your tokens, and you can also provide liquidity for the trading pair, and you can earn some of the fees that the exchange makes when somebody buys something. So what I recommend doing is go to YouTube and just Google farming on Pancake Swap, and several videos will pop up and will show you the risks, the rewards, and how it all works. I don't have enough time to go through step by step and really explain it to you and see if it would be something for you. But some of the rewards are that you can earn 30, 50, 100, 150, 200% on your funds. Now, it's definitely riskier than just buying and holding or just staking on a platform like Nexo. So that's why you got to go do your education, study into it and see exactly what it is all about, and then make a determination for yourself as to whether or not the risk is worth the reward. But one of the reasons that cryptocurrency has taken the world by storm is because most people don't have a safe way to earn 10, 15% on their money. They don't even really, I mean, even just to earn 5% is a little bit, tricky. You got to figure out some spots to put it. But with cryptocurrency, you can stake basically dollar bills. You could take 10,000 US dollars, buy $10 worth of USDC, which stands for US dollar coin. It's a stable coin. It's a cryptocurrency, but it's pegged to a dollar. It's always worth $1. So if you have $10,000 worth of USDC and Bitcoin plummets down to, to 20 grand and the market crashes, you're still going to have $10,000 worth of USDC. It never drops and it never goes up. But if you have that $10,000 and you have it held in a spot like Nexo, they will pay you 10% a year on that money. So for those of you that are sitting around with big bank accounts and money that's just kind of sitting there waiting to be used for something, decentralized finance is an amazing spot for you to take that, put it, you kind of like a money market account used to be. Now you can use these decentralized platforms as like your money market accounts where you're letting cash sit, but it's earning you 10% a year instead of just sitting there earning you nothing. So I'm looking here. Oh, wait, we do have some more questions. I swear, I apologize, guys. I'm still getting used to this StreamYard software, so I didn't see that. Here we go. Jesse, any thoughts on AMP long term? Yeah, I like it. If we're talking about the same AMP, I know that there's a couple of different ones. There's a token called Ample Fourth, and then there's a token called AMP that's just AMP that trades on Coinbase. And I think the last time I saw it, it was somewhere in the 5-cent range. Maybe it's a little higher, or because of this dip, maybe it's a little lower. But yeah, I like the token. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I haven't bought any myself yet because I just kind of different directions and different stuff that's been coming up. It is a little bit higher up on the market cap list. It's up there a little bit further. I'm investing a lot of my money into projects that are lower on the market cap at this point. But I think it's another great one. Like if somebody asked me, hey, what are 10 cryptocurrencies on Coinbase that I should buy, I would think that if I didn't mention AMP, that I would be making a mistake. So yeah, I think that AMP has a very bright future and that it's definitely a good spot to park some funds if you're looking at it. Hey, there we go. This is my buddy Jay from the Slot Freaks. Hello, good to see you. This gentleman runs a YouTube channel where he actually gets paid to sit down and play slots with a camera. Casinos give him free suites and all sorts of comps, and it's just it's kind of fun to watch. You would think that watching somebody play a slot machine on a YouTube video would be a little bit boring, but he makes it fun with the way that he commentates on it and the excitement. And sometimes he even does stuff where like I'll throw him $100 bill on Cash App. And then when he goes and plays, he collects $100, say from 20 players, and he runs that through the machine for however long it takes to go through $2,000. And then whatever he's won or lost at the end, we all split back up 20 ways. So I really appreciate him. He actually created the thumbnail for this video, and he also created the intro. If you've watched my last couple of videos, that cool new intro, that is all because of Jay here in the Slot Freaks channel. He just did that for free, just out of the blue, messaged me and said, hey, I got something for you. And so I want to give him a little bit of love. If you think you might enjoy, some slots and enjoy somebody showing you Vegas and playing some slots, go check out his channel. Oh, hey, here we go. We got the man, the myth, the legend. This is my dad, Bob Varnell. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Man, without this guy, there would be no me. I tell you, sometime you'll hear the whole story. but I got lucky in the dad department, man. I got an incredible dad, and he's a huge part of the reason that I'm able to sit here in front of you guys doing what I'm doing. So it's so great to see you, Dad. Thanks for coming on. Chris. Hey, Chris, welcome. Glad to have you here. Do you have any questions for me, buddy? I know you're out in California working hard, but I'd be happy if you got any crypto questions to go ahead and answer them. And anybody else here? I mean, we still got 14, 15 people on the live. There's got to be some more questions. I'm trying to think of what else I can talk about to add some value to you guys. So, feel free to jump in and ask some questions. Or let me ask, hey, Lee Pierce, how you doing, buddy? Another childhood friend, man. This is somebody that I went to elementary school with. What are you have a question for me, Lee? Thank you for being here. I know that you've DM'd me a couple of questions. Do you have any questions for the live stream that you think other people might have on their mind? Most of the time, if you ask a question, there's probably 10 other people here that are going to be glad that you asked it because they're curious about the same thing. So definitely don't be shy about asking questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Definitely appreciate them all. Hi, Monica. Hey, great. Thank you so much, Jay, for sending Monica to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Monica, do you have any questions about crypto? I would definitely love to answer any questions that you have, whether you're from beginner to experienced. I am here to answer any questions. Here we go. Jesse. Yes, Jesse, you brought up a good point. The metaverse currencies continue to run during this dip. Do you think that Sand still has room to run on? Are there any other metaverse currencies? Yeah, absolutely, Jesse. That is an amazing question. And for those of you that don't know what a metaverse is, I'm probably not the right guy to try to explain it, but the best way that I can explain it, what I like to say is it kind of reminds me of a game that we probably played a little bit as kids called SimCity, where you kind of started off and you owned this city and you had to go and create, a power plant and a home and different stuff. So in a metaverse, it's like a virtual reality, and that you can actually purchase land and you can purchase in-game items. So like say a game like Call of Duty that you're playing on your Xbox or your PlayStation or whatever you play it on, and then you pop your credit card in and you buy a special weapon or you buy a tank or you buy something like that. When you do it in Call of Duty through your Xbox or your PlayStation, you technically own that item because you paid for it, but you can't resell it. It's just yours. Where when you go into crypto and on the blockchain and in the metaverse, if you buy a piece of property in the metaverse, say like he's talking about Sandbox is a metaverse. If you go to Sandbox and you go in, you can buy a piece of property, but you're going to pay a lot of money for it right now because the people that got into Sandbox early knew what they had a hold of. And these pieces of property are going for thousands and thousands of dollars. But if you did decide to jump into Sandbox, you could buy a piece of property. And then maybe you could, you can buy other things to go along with it, whether it be vehicles or boats or jets. Imagine a very less, a less graphic and a less violent version of, say, like Grand Theft Auto, where you could be going through the video game and you could be purchasing cars and you could be purchasing boats and you could be playing this game. And then you could decide, hey, you know what? I'm tired of this Lamborghini. I want this Mercedes convertible. And you could put your Lamborghini up on the marketplace, and somebody else comes and buys it from you. Now, maybe you paid $100 for that car or $1,000 or $5,000, but now somebody else comes along. As the game becomes more popular and more people join the game, the items in it become more popular. So now you take a car that you bought for $100 and you're able to sell it for $5,000. Recently, I got involved in an investment called Blocktopia, which is also a metaverse. And it has 1,000x'd since I bought it. Right now it retraced and it's back at about 500x, but I was actually able to take about $1,000 and turn it into $500,000 on paper. It's unrealized gains at this point because there's a vesting schedule. So I get about 10% a month for the next several months. But as long as this project stays doing well and stays up at the price that it's at or higher, I will eventually have turned $1,000 bill into over 500 grand. And that's why I get so excited about crypto and the possibilities. And, I know I'm long-winded, but yes, the metaverse projects are probably one of the number one places to be putting some of your financial dollars right now. And I do believe that not only are they going to do well like they are right now, even in this dip, but in a few months from now, if Bitcoin peaks and we kind of get that retracement and the market comes crashing down, I think the projects that are going to hold their value the best are going to be metaverse projects. And they're also the ones like you may or may not want to jump into Sandbox right now because it's already had an amazing, incredible run. And yeah, it's probably got some growth that it can still do. But most of the huge money, like turning 1,000 into 500,000, has already happened. But when the market comes back down in a few months, if you've got some money on the sidelines and some of these projects like Sandbox and Blocktopia and Decentraland and these metaverse projects come back down to earth a little bit, that would be a great time, to deploy some capital into those. Good question. Hey, Brad, Jay sent me over. Man, Jay, I owe you, buddy, man. One of these days here, you get back to Vegas here soon. We're going to have to go out again. I'm going to have to take you out to another dinner. I appreciate you sharing this with other people. And John, welcome, man. I hope that you get some value out of this. This channel is designed to kind of pay it forward. I had a mentor that helped walk me through the initial stages of my cryptocurrency journey. And that's kind of what I'm here to do too. So if you have any questions, it says, you're here to learn about crypto, go ahead. Let's start learning. Ask any question that you have, and I'll be happy to answer it. Does anybody here have any questions? I don't believe it. It's already been 52 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for about 5 and it's been 52 minutes. So I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. I hope that you guys got a lot of value. And if nobody's got any new questions, then I'll go ahead and hop off and let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. But I don't want to leave if there's folks here that are sitting on the sidelines that have a question and haven't asked it yet. Please, while you got me here, utilize me and ask any questions that are on your mind. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll give you guys another 15, 20, 30 seconds to ask a question. And if nobody has any more questions, then we will probably, call it a day, get ready to enjoy our weekend. Next week, the show is probably going to be a little bit earlier in the week. I'm guessing it's going to be on Tuesday. My dad and a bunch of family are coming into town on Wednesday, and then we've got Thanksgiving. So I'll probably do this show next Tuesday. Those of you that, have access to me through Arete and Facebook and Telegram, feel free to DM me after this is over and let me know if you've got a topic that you would like me to kind of focus on, next week. Today we kind of hit decentralized finance. Maybe next week we do a little bit more on the metaverse. I've actually got a couple more metaverse projects that I'm pretty excited about that I'm going to be doing videos about. So that would be one of the ways that you can support me. If you haven't already yet, please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and be alerted every time I put out a video, because I've got some amazing videos coming out. And if you're excited about metaverse and decentralized finance, you're really going to like the projects that I'm going to be talking about over the next few days. So with that, folks, it looks like we don't have any more questions. So I will let you go and get on with your day. God bless. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.